Cultural competency. Do you have it? Do you even know what it is? Have you seen her? Today I'm going to talk about cultural competency, and it is something I actually got, I think I've understood the concept of it, but I recently got it from an interview that I had with Nikema Levy Armstrong, and she talked about it in regards of a proposal that's coming down the line for Minneapolis Public Schools. All that aside, cultural competency is this amazing thing that, as well-meaning that you may be, as well-intentioned or nice or kind as you may be, cultural competency can actually, your lack of cultural competency can actually be one of the most damaging or painful things that you can be the source of in a connection with somebody. And cultural competency, I could be misusing the phrase, I don't think I am, but it's the idea of obviously just being culturally competent. And it can come in many forms of, there was an example, here's an example. There was a cop who arrested a Latinx man in South Minneapolis. And the man was resisting. And the cop then open hand slapped the Latinx man in front of his entire community. Now, that gesture, one, obviously is a violent gesture, it's horrible, one shouldn't be doing it, but the cultural connotations that came with that were massive. And everybody who saw it, apparently an open hand slap in that community means you are less than human. And the community asked the officer to give a public apology. And that is just a very, that's just an example of cultural, the lack of cultural competency. And so when we talk about art, there was, oh goodness, here's another example. The Walker Art Center, when they posted the, they posted a, how do I say this? I don't know where to start with this because it's so, it was so bad and problematic. So one of the largest mass executions in U.S. history took place in Mankato, Minnesota, where a very large, Max, what's it called? The gallows were created for 30-some indigenous people. And they hung everybody at the same time. And my apologies if I'm miscuing the numbers here, but it was one of the largest mass executions in U.S. history. A artist decided to rebuild the gallows, and then the Walker thought it was a great idea to put the gallows up at their sculpture garden to make a point on punishment or crime and punishment. Oh boy. The lack of cultural competency is that nobody discussed it with any indigenous people in Minnesota or anywhere. So now indigenous people see these gallows that were used, or these gallows made after the gallows that were used to execute their people publicly. And the insult, the offense, the pain, the hurt went so deep that a protest withstood for days, if not weeks on end, until the Walker had to take it down, and then the person that was in charge of the Walker, she had to step down. And it's one of these things where cultural competency is so damn important. And again, you can be as well-intentioned as you want to be, but if you don't have any cultural competency, it goes out of the window. So how do we get cultural competency? First, I want to start with what you feel people can do to get cultural competency, and then I will obviously give you my 2 cents on it. I think that it starts with listening. It starts with listening to people that are not of the same skin tone as you, people that don't come from the same culture as you, people that come from different communities than you, and it starts with listening. And it starts with just shutting up and listening. And regardless of what place you think you're coming from, in your heart, it just doesn't matter until you listen to the values and principles of another community and what your actions and or language may be in the realm of their community, and how it can be threatening, how it can be violent, how it can be abusive to other people, whereas to you it just seems like, well, I was just asking a question. And for me, I mean, another example for me would be when a lot of white people have asked to touch my hair or asked me where I'm from. It has come off as no, it speaks to me as, well, do you belong here? And so the question may be well-intentioned. However, the root of it is absolutely, it's steeped in stratification, it's steeped in excommunication, and it's steeped in, labeling somebody as the other, or can I touch your hair? And this happened a lot in the beginning of college, to the point that I was like, what is going on? And, in the beginning, you're like, oh, cool, people are interested in me. And then later on, you're like, how come it's only white people asking me this? And so, and it just came off as, it was really tough. It was tough to experience that. And then it actually made me start to think about, how can I build my cultural competency? What have I done in the past that's actually really insulted some people? I actually had a conversation with a friend recently about that. Yeah, I mean, it's a continuum of work. You have to keep working on it. And as artists, I think it's paramount to be aware of it at all times, like what your stake is in somebody else's house. Like what does it mean for you to be in that conversation, or inserting yourself in that conversation, and what can you do to just be quiet and listen for a second. I will have more to say on this later, but I just wanted to start this right now because I think that the topic of it is so damn important for any and every artist, because a lot of times you're a visitor. It ain't your house. It ain't your land. It's not yours, and you have to present some understanding or modicum of attention or awareness to the fact that you're dealing with a different culture other than your own. And so I want to know what that means to you. I want to keep this going because I'm kind of just starting my ideas on it and whatnot, but I want to know what this means to you. And for sure, put your comments and questions in the comment section. I have a feeling that this could be a very talkative topic. So yeah, I'd love to hear what you think about it. And I want to thank you for spending the time and energy just to watch this video. So thank you so much. And we will most definitely see you in the next video. Later.